natural resources for the betterment of organic farming by developing technologies. That is another area. And integrated farming, this is now in all agricultural research stations, they are recommending the integrated farming. Almost all progressive farmers, they are nowadays practicing the integrated farming in their agricultural area. This is simply in addition to pure agriculture, they have to maintain the dairy, poultry, fisheries, and apiculture, the honeybee maintenance. So these are all the other ways, and they can give natural balance. Moreover, additional income also they are getting. Dairy farms and then the sheep rearing. So these are all the ways giving additional revenue to the farmers. So pure agriculture is not at all helpful. When you do these type of practices, we can get adequate manure for our field from the dairy or from the sheep rearing. We can get adequate manuring, and from the fish farm also we can get manure, and then the eco-friendly programs we can follow. Integrated farming increase the revenue to the every farmers. So the thing is, we have to select the type of animal type of integrated farming, because some of the areas poultry farm is poultry farm, it is not suitable for all places, depending upon the climate. Particularly humidity is the factor very much involved in the maintenance of the poultry. So the places wherever the humidity will high during non-rainy season, that can be selected for the poultry. Similarly, the fisheries, the fishery farm, that can be developed only in the places high rainfall areas or the nearby river beds, that can be developed. In dry areas, this fishery farming is not at all suitable. And then the poultry, the dairy, everything. So according to area, what type of the practice that can be suitable, that should be selected by study only. So after then it can be implemented. Definitely the farmers get additional income other than the cropping. So this integrated farming, that can also be recommended, and it is widely followed. But the organic farming and integrated farming, if these two are the eco-friendly farming practices, adequate, only 2% of the land involved, their land area in India is involved in this. Out of 329 million hectares of the land, geographical area available in India, 60 million hectares only used as the farmlands. In that, 2% only used for the organic farming and integrated farming purposes. That can be increased very slowly. Then only the farming practices will be very successful. We can cater very quality food for our people. The food security, that can be highly possible with good hygiene materials through this organic and integrated promotion of the organic farming and then the integrated farming. Yes, friends, welcome. Actually, I have to tell one more thing in the agriculture area, that restoration of the traditional varieties. So this is the because of the modern agriculture and using different chemicals for high yield, hybridization and other technologies for high yielding varieties. The traditional varieties or traditional crop plants, they are slowly going out. So this must be, these type of traditional crop varieties must be restored, because they are having, or they are only having the excellent and most valuable genetic stock. So for that we have to restore all the types of crop varieties, traditional crop varieties. So one initiation that has been taken in 2010 by the MS Swaminathan Research Foundation in the Wayanad area of Kerala. There, actually, before independence, almost 1 century back, in Wayanad area, the local agriculturists, they have used 105, so 105 local varieties of rice for cultivation. They are having very interesting features like the high complex carbohydrate, high content of protein, etc. So diabetics and other sugar complaints, that can be treated by using these type of varieties. Even now, including millets, that type of rice varieties are very good for the diabetic patients. So this MS Swaminathan Foundation in that area, By following C4 model, they recovered nearly 30 traditional crop varieties until now. C4 model means the cultivation, the traditional varieties, the seeds, even it is in small amount, that can be cultivated in small area by encouraging the farmers. Second one, after the cultivation, they procure seeds, and again it is recommended for cultivation by giving good amount of price to the local people. They are cultivating at one stage, they have collected the seeds in large quantity and it is distributed. The cultivation is the first one. The second one, consumption. That is, we have to make awareness among the people about these traditional paddy varieties because of their medicinal character as well as the nutritional characters. Then this type of the good food for the diabetic patients, high content of protein, vitamins, minerals, because of the presence of these things. When compared to the hybrid varieties, the traditional crop varieties like this rice, they are more important. That type of scientific awareness, health awareness must be created among the people. So that is the consumption. We are encouraging the people for consumption. Third one, that commercialization. So after cultivating the crop variety in large quantity, that should be commercialized. Actually, the farmers, they should be given high price, double the time or triple the time high price when compared to the normal rice. Then only definitely they will come forward to cultivate such kinds of paddy plants. So suppose 40 kg, 40 rupees per kg, the ordinary rice means at least 150 rupees we have to give for the traditional crop varieties, because the yield when compared to the modern varieties, the yield of the traditional variety will be low. So in order to compensate all these things, the farmers will be given more amount. So this will attract the farmers to come forward to cultivate the plants. The fourth one, the conservation. So cultivation, consumption, commercialization, and finally the conservation. So they seed cluster villages they have formed. The local farmers are encouraged to collect such kinds of various traditional rice varieties, and they have stored after one stage that can be procured by the research foundation, and they are distributing the seeds to the required farmers. This is one such way they are encouraging the farmers through which they are collecting the traditional rice varieties, because of the genetic stock and the nutritionally rich quantity. This type of restoration is essential. That should also be done. Even in our local area, when you ask your forefathers or any people traditionally involved in agriculture, they will say about the plants available there. Even sesame also, the wild sesame, it is available there in the Coimbatore district. It is having excellent property of high oil yield. The thing is some chemical barrier that should be removed at the time of the extraction of the oil, or the genes can be incorporated into the genes of the uh, sesame crab. So many number of plants they are available. We have to identify in the local area what are the traditional crop varieties are available, and that should be recovered. So this is one area in agriculture we have to concentrate. The next important area which need both research and the best outcome, that is health care. So healthcare in every country they are giving more importance to healthcare, people welfare, healthcare. The Indian apart from that Western medicine, the Indian medicinal plants they are occupying an important position. Um, because in India, medicinal plant, India is the emporium of medicinal plant. Many number of medicinal plants are available. Moreover, India is having different types of vegetations because of the variation in climatic condition, biotic condition, and then the soil conditions. Different kinds of vegetations are there, starting from tropical evergreen forest to desert. So these kinds of ecosystem variability that can lead to the occupation of different kinds of plants. The richness of the plants in general, plants and animals and other microflora in general, they are more in number. So India, that's why included in one among the 18 megadiversity nations in the world. We are having, of course, latest update by Botanical Survey of India, 21,000 and odd number of plant species, higher plants are available in India. Some 1 year back it has been estimated that 18,000 and odd number. So every year people now they are showing interest to recover more, rediscover or report new plants at different areas. Exploration of vegetation that has been done very frequently, interestingly, by our plant scientists throughout India in different vegetation that results in the documentation of more number of plants. So as a total of 21,000 or odd number of angiosperms are available in India, out of which nearly 40% of the plants are considered to be medicinally important. 40% means at world level, it is only 8% of the plant. At world level, 2 lakhs and 50,000 plants are available. Out of them, 20,000 plants are medicinally important. So this is nearly 8%. But our medicinal plant status in India is 5 times greater than the world average. 40% medicinal plants are available. In that, in addition, nearly 3,000 plants are endemic to India. 3,000 medicinal plants are endemic to India. It is a great wealth to countries like India because no one country can claim the rights of these plants. It can grow only in the Indian climate, Indian vegetation, and the Indian subcontinent. So no other places in the world we can see this plant. So this is only in India. So this type of high degree of endemism is actually the wealth of any country. India, of course, a very fortunate we are having more number of plants in India, particularly plants of medicinal importance. So these medicinal plants that can be validated scientifically. But in Indian scenario is entirely different. Out of 7,000 plants available there, so far only 1,000 plants, around 1,000 number of plants only validated scientifically. By getting traditional knowledge through other things, the plants are identified as medicinally important, and then scientific validation, whether the traditional information given about the plant for medicinal uses are wrong or right, that can be validated by using the scientific methods. Then only it can be recommended for pharmaceutical companies and other local medical practices, systems of local medical practices. So here the trade of medicinal plants, that is also another important area, because countries like China, as per the 2003 in Kerala Economic Review, one article has been published that says 60 at the time it was 60 billion US dollars. The world medicinal plant trade was 60 billion US dollars. Out of this, China held a handsome amount of 40%, but India very meager $100 million only. $100 million only the Indian country is having medicinal plant trade at the time. In 2018-19 period, this has been increased 5 times. India is having nearly 2.5% only when compared to China. It is 13%. Role of China in medicinal plant trade is 14%. So, however, one interesting feature, even though the geographical area of China is higher than India, the cultivable land area is higher in India when compared to China. So here, what we are doing, only little number of plants are given attention for cultivation and export, commercialization, for all these process. Little number of plants only given importance, like our Embolica officinalis, asparagus, this gymnema. Very little number of below 10 number of plants only we are giving importance, and it is cultivated large scale and exported. But China, the scenario is entirely different. Once the plant is identified as medicinally important through traditional information or traditional knowledge, immediately, in China, the superior body is the Chinese Academy of Sciences. The Chinese Academy of Sciences, immediately after recognition of a plant as medicinally important, immediately they ask the horticulture people or the agriculture scientist people to develop cultivation technology for them. They are financially, they have been assisted, and then they are developing technology, cultivation technology. After 1 year or 2 years, that can be handed over to the local farmers. So where the plant is collected, in which climate it is growing well, that area is selected, and the local farmers are asked to cultivate the plant. Moreover, they are assured to given a good price. So price also assured by the government. the procurement, harvest, everything that has been done by the government through the traders. So after maturation, the plants are collected by giving good price. So the farmers are interestingly come forward to cultivate such a kind of plant. The biomass of the plant, huge biomass through cultivation, they are exported to various countries, and also for indigenous uses they are having. So this is the scenario in China. But here, of course, we are not following such method. So that should be done to validate all the medicinal plants available in India. Even the number of medicinal plants in India is higher than China also. So we are having lot of bioresources, potentiality, everything. So this type of coordination is essential to do more thing and export the biomass of medicinal plants to other countries. And there also in China, they followed the C4 model. C4 model, already I told that there is a triangle. One that is the government agencies, another one farmers, another one is the companies. So companies, the farmers, they are cultivating the plant by getting technology from the government area. And then after cultivation, the traders, through the monitoring of the government, the traders are and the companies, they are getting the material from the farmers, and this is the cycle, all the process, this triangle that has been monitored by the government agencies. So this is for each and every medicinal plant doing like this, and they are exporting large quantity there. And another important area that nowadays after COVID-19, the SARS-CoV-2, to boost the immunity, the plant extracts and the plant derived medicines are widely used. India, of course, a very good country with good knowledge of traditional knowledge. We are having lot of information about the antiviral plants. So that should also be validated. Many number of plants like our Acalypha indica, very common weed available in roadsides and wasteland, that is having a very good antiviral property, particularly for the SARS-CoV-2. And then the other plants like the almost all members of the Gingiberaceae, the Gingiber officinale, and then the Curcuma longa. These are all the plants, and wild gingibers, nearly 6 or 7 wild gingibers are available in the Tamil Nadu. So they are also having very good medicinal property, particularly the antiviral property. And then the Melia tubia, that is also having this neem plant, wild neem. This is also having antiviral property. And many number of other weeds, what we are considering them as weeds, they are having an antiviral property. So many, the chemical compounds, that means the active principal compounds available in these plants like the scutellarian, quercetin, and then the coumarin, they are having antiviral properties by using these plants. Actually, by in silico studies, it has been proved that these plants are having excellent quantity and quality of different antiviral compounds. Then they are actually blocking the functional area of the virus. You know that SARS-CoV-2 is a roundish body with full of spines. These spines are made by the glycoprotein. Actually, the business end of the virus are these spines. So these spines actually search the ACA angiotensin conversion enzyme, that is available in enzyme 2, that is available in the epithelial cells of our thorax and the lungs, etc. These places, this ACE2 is available. So this is the binding site of the virus. The virus, when it comes inside the body through the alimentary canal, it immediately finds that binding sites like the ACE2 and destroys the ACE2 and enter inside the body. This is one way. So the ACE2, that must be blocked by some chemical compounds. And after that, some of the enzymes produced by the virus, that is also important both for replication and survival of the virus in the host cell. The enzymes like the RTase, that is the reverse transcriptase, this RTase is important in converting. They are actually generating the complementary DNA from the RNA. So that is the function. The complementary DNA is most essential for the survival as well as the replication of the virus in the host cell. So this RTS must be blocked, or that should be converted as the inactive site. Similarly, another enzyme available in the virus body, main protease. The main protease, what it is doing, so actually the viral RNA strand that act as messenger RNA, and this messenger RNA, the commands for the production of two long polyproteins. The two long polyproteins are actually the functional site of the virus. These two polyproteins, long polyproteins, that can be fragmented, fragmented by the enzyme, the main protease. So main protease is the enzyme that is involved in the fragmentation of the two long polyproteins. So each piece of the polyproteins, fragmented polyproteins, they act as the functional site, mainly involved with the replication of the virus. So main protease doing major function in that replication of the virus, that should be blocked. Another one, that is the integrase, that enzyme. Integrase is the enzyme that is actually forming a link, covalent link between the genomes of virus and the host plant. So this would also be because of the link only, the host genomes are completely destroyed and used by the virus for the replication. So this area must also be blocked. So here various compounds present in the plants, by in silico studies it has been proved, demonstrated, they are blocking the functional areas of the virus. The scutellarian available in the different kinds of plants, what I told about the antiviral plants, and quercetin. These are all the two important chemicals, active chemicals, they are blocking. So in silico studies very clearly demonstrated that these kinds of the chemical compounds available in plants, they are having ability to block the functional area of the virus. Another important thing, the lead finder scores, LF score they are saying. LF score is one value, lead finder score. It is one value used to find out the level of affinity between the plant product, plant derived extract or plant derived chemical compound and then the functional site of the virus. So this is always in negative value. The higher the negative value, greater the affinity. So any plant compound with high amount of negative value, that should indicate it is having high binding value towards the virus, the functional site of the virus. So this type of studies, because the SARS-CoV-2 is so dangerous, it is not allowed to cultivate in the culture in any type of laboratory. So these in silico studies, they are giving first-hand information about the plants. So many number of the mixers, polyherbal mixers are also available in Tamil Nadu and other parts of India. Kapasurakudinir, that is also analyzed for the chemical analysis, and there are it has been reported nearly 145 active principles or antiviral compounds are available in the Kapasurakudinir. They are boosting the immunity, the T cells of the immunity system that has been encouraged, that is triggered for the protection of the white blood corpuscles. That means the protective area. They are actually giving resistance to the SARS-CoV-2 or the concerned COVID-19. So these antiviral plants must be identified. So lot number of plants they are available. Through traditional knowledge from the local healers, we have to identify the plants. We are having one project in 2004-07 by Ministry of Environment. In the solar understories alone, we have documented 131 plants. In that, nearly 10 plants are having antiviral property. So they have been identified, they have been validated. Definitely, we can get a fruitful result from the plant against the SARS-CoV-2. So many local areas, likewise, they are having different antiviral plants. So our aim is to work out with the antiviral plants, first identification and then the scientific validation through many steps of studies like the preliminary phytochemical studies, first survey and identification, preliminary phytochemical studies by using TLC and HPTLC, and then the third step they determine or they find out the list of the active principles available in plants using HPLC, GCMS in higher spectrum like that. So high-end instruments are used to determine the type of the chemical substances available there for medicinal property, and finally the lead compounds. That means the clinical trials. Clinical trials by using animal models, the clinical trials can be done. So the series of steps, through the series of steps, we can validate the plant. So many number of plants are not explored chemically so far. So biochemically, we have to explore the plant and find out the um, uh, active principles available there. So traditional knowledge, that is another important area. Traditional knowledge about the plants and other organisms in India. So India is having the country with more than 500 groups of ethnic communities. Ethnic, the rich number of ethnic community people in any country is having actually the rich knowledge, traditional knowledge about the nature, about the plants, about the animals for various purposes. So India is one such country. We are very fortunate. All over India, more than 500 communities of ethnic group they are available. Every group of people they are having rich in knowledge about the medicinal plant. So this knowledge that must be tapped first. So one or two times when you visit there, that people cannot help you. So by continuous movement, continuous approach, that only gives some kind of benefit. So in this, the traditional knowledge that can be uh, codified, there are in two ways. One codified systems, another one is non-codified systems. Codified systems of traditional knowledge means our forefather, our ancient people knowledge about the medicinal plants that has been documented in the scripts, that is called as the codified systems. So that kind of the scripts that can be recovered, we should know the knowledge about the medicinal plants. The second one, non-codified systems. Non-codified system means the folklore and the information through generation to generation. That is called as the non-codified systems. So these informations must be collected. Actually, to get the reliable information from the traditional people, now some softwares came, because some of the people they give wrong information about the plant. In order to check out that one, we can use softwares. One such is the uh, use value. Use value is one kind of software we can use. Some formulas are used for that one. We can get the information about the about different kinds of plants used for the common one ailment. So what are the kinds of plants or the species that can be prescribed for the treatment of one particular ailment, that is the use value. So software is there, formula is there, we can get the very right information, correct information from the traditional people. Second one, informant consensus factor. Informant consensus factor, it is the degree or the level of agreement between the healers about the plant for treating the disease. That the informant consensus factor. The third one, fidelity value. Fidelity value means how far the plant is faithful in curing the disease. That is the fidelity value. So all these the softwares, by putting all these softwares, we can collect the exact information from the tribal communities, aboriginal people, other ethnic group of people, even local healers also about the plants for the medicinal uses. And then we can validate. So validation and the selection of the medicinal plants also into three ways. One is the random method. Without knowing anything about the plant, we can select the plant randomly and it is tested and it is experimented or it is chemically analyzed. So of course, nearly 50 to 70% there is no reliable information about the plant by the random method. And another one is phylogeny. Phylogenetically, the plants, based on their resemblance, they are grouped into families or they are grouped into species under one genus. So like that, based on the morphological similarity, anatomical similarity, embryological similarity, biochemical similarity, genetic similarity, like that, the plants are grouped into different categories like orders, families, genera, species, like that. So one genus or one family with a different genera, one genera with a different species, actually they are having somewhat close genetic relationship. So if they are close relative genetic relationship, suppose one plant is identified as medicinally important, definitely we can expect the relative of that plant also has the almost has the same medicinal property. One good example we can say Taxus baccata. Taxus baccata is used for the anti-cancer property. So the drugs derived from the plant is used for the anti-cancer property. But another species, Taxus brevifolia, is also expected to have almost the same property, same type of the medicinal compounds there, the chemical compounds there. So they analyzed the Taxus brevifolia, and very interestingly, they have also get the plant active principles from there for the treatment of the cancer. So the phylogeny means they are closely related plants, closely related organism. They are grouped in one category. So if one plant is recognized as important, definitely we can expect the other species in the same group may also have the property, same property. So this way we can select the plant. So this phylogeny, and then the third one is through oral information, through our ancestors, through our traditional people, through the ethnic community, aboriginal people. When you interrogate them, they will tell about the plants. So Canarium strictum, we have one study in the Walayar Valley some 5 years back. Canarium strictum, that plant is until they are, it is used as a anti-inflammatory plant. But the Irula tribal community inhabiting that region, they say they are using the plant for the anti-mosquito repellency is there, they told. Because that area, Walayar Valley is very moist forest is there. It is the place of active place for the southwest monsoon. So most of the months in the year, the soil always wet in nature. The climatic condition is also so suitable for various kinds of organisms because of the wetness and high moisture content. Mosquito is a common menace for all the people there. So by trial and error, experimentation, they knew that this plant Canarium strictum is having this mosquito repellent property they used. So this type of identification at different places, uh, for what purpose they are using the plant like that, what is the chemical compound there, these type of studies that will be useful to explore more knowledge about the medicinal plant. And another thing, in bioinformatics approach, nowadays many softwares are there to know the importance of the plant in terms of medicinal property. PAS software, prediction activity substance spectra, that is PAS. PAS software, it is not a commercial software commonly available. This software is used to detect the plant is whether medicinally important or not. After getting the chemical compounds, active principles present in the plant through GCMS analysis, the structural formula, the chemical compounds with the structural formula is subjected to analysis in the PAS software, and then there are two characters will come out. One is revealed character and another one is non-revealed character. The difference between revealed and non-revealed characters must always the maximum of 1. So any compound which have zero point 0.7 or more than that up to 1, if the character is like that, then we can say it is more reliable compound in curing the disease. Moreover, and that is called as the likeness of the compound. Likeness of the compound means the likeness value, if it comes 0.8, 0.9 for any compound in a plant, means that compound is very reliable to cure the disease. So this is only a preliminary approach because these animal models only helpful to confirm the character. We can get some preliminary information from the plant by using the software PAS. And likewise, many other softwares are also there in bioinformatics by which we can approach the plant for its medicinal property. And another important area for research and also most useful for the country development of country in all sectors like agriculture, industry, healthcare, whatever may be. Power is most essential. Interrupted power supply is more required for the consistent development of or sustainable development of any country. So Paris Agreement in 2015, as per the part of Paris Agreement, moreover, the coal-based energy, it is nowadays for the past 2 decades all over the world, people, not only the scientists and environmentalists, the common public also got awareness about the climate change and its consequences. That's why the green energy or clean energy, that is essential in course of time for usage for all sectors. And Paris, by realizing all these facts, in Paris Agreement 2015, India, as a part of Paris Agreement, India decided India was having at the time a great ambition to produce 175 gigawatts of green energy by the year 2022. But of course, 75% we have achieved. Our Prime Minister is having another target by 2030. By 2030, we have to achieve 450 gigawatts of green energy. So green energy, it is a strategic technological leadership for India to build up the next decade with co-benefits like less pollution, less land degradation, etc. So the solar energy, wind energy, all the other non-conventional energy sources that has been utilized. Again, India is a very lucky country. We are having good sunshine. So when compared to any European countries or USA, India is a country with a high amount of the solar light, solar energy. The striking solar constant is very high when compared to other parts of the world to India. Since we are situated in lucky latitude, northeastern part of the globe, India is situated. So almost 12-hour light, 12-hour night period we are having. So good sign of light, we are having good intensity of light in India. But you see the European country situated in temperate climate, Germany is leading the green energy or the solar energy. Germany is the country leading the solar energy. But India with a lot of potentiality. The thing is the technology, quality technology is required to convert the sunlight into energy. So that must be important. In the green energy point of view, China investing a large amount for the production of the green energy. So there are also technological development, even like cottage industries, the solar panels are produced in the villages of China, quality products they are producing. So to compete the neighbor China, technologically we should also be sound. So young researchers, you should involve in this area and the solar panels with high efficiency that can be produced. And non-invasive program, that is another important area for energy. Non-invasive means then and there what are the sources available in the local places. By using the local sources we have to generate energy, that is the non-invasive program. But India investing more amount for the invasive programs. At one point, at one place, the energy or power is produced and it is transported to other areas through the corridors, the power corridors. They are investing huge amount for making power corridors. So hundreds, thousands of kilometers, the power is transmitted to other areas through the corridors. So what they are now suggesting, so local area, definitely solar power will be high. Other than that, the wind velocity, how far the wind velocity, and then the biomass available in local area. So these things must be used to produce the energy for the local need. This is called as the non-invasive program. So one very good example near Coimbatore, that particularly in Metpalayam region, Vodandurai Panchayat. In 2000, actually 2 times that Panchayat received President Award for better energy use and other the self-reliance. So in that village in 2000, they came to know that nearly 30 to 45% of the Panchayat revenue is going towards the electricity bill. So they think, why not we construct a power plant in our region? Then they constructed solar panels for each and every house. They constructed solar panels there, and the huge investment. They bought bank loans